Don't say that.
Didn't say anything.
Good evening. Welcome to Berardi and Coke from the Orta No Better podcast. It's myself, Jay, joined by pod regular Gilly, and I don't think either of us really want to be here talking about this, but we've got a public to look after, so here we are. Gilly, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Could be worse anyway. But do you know what? I don't know if I ever was angry. I think I'm so disillusioned with things at this point in time that anger wasn't even. Do you remember when Bielsa told us to not get too elated when you win and not get too down when you lose?
Oh, yeah.
I think I've taken that too literally.
Possibly. Let's see on the other side of this intro.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Orta No Better podcast. Let's do this.
Leeds are shit.
We're recording, you know.
Oh, shit.
We had a good start. I don't think we've got the personnel.
You can fucking laugh all you want, you absolute bellend.
I think about things. That's why you lot are idiots.
A melted version of a dick that's been shrink wrapped.
The absolute elite shithousery of this.
I'm still seething. I'm still upset. I'm more upset after this game than I was after Sunderland. I don't know about you.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
What? Okay. Even though we don't really care about them and they're getting relegated. And Sunderland, we expect to be there or thereabouts. And, you know, like 4 points rather than 2 against Sunderland, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. I saw your message then about your audio. Sorry, it threw me.
Oh, no. It's on these now. He's fine.
Yeah. I mean, you say we don't care about them and Sunderland over there or thereabouts, but I care about the points. I care about the points. And I can forgive.
Yeah, but you say more than... So Sunderland, we came away with 1 point. Hull, we came away with 1 point. So it's kind of a... Sunderland are expected to be our closest out of the pair, our closest rival for promotion this season.
Yeah,
so it feels like that we're...
Final.
Well, maybe. Maybe. Fucking hell. Can you imagine having to go down to Wembley again?
Oh. I don't know if I can. I don't know
if I wasn't disillusioned enough. Come on, Jay.
Well, the toll that one of them days out takes on you. It's just, oh, God. I can't. But, this is the worry now. Like, I am more upset by that one because we had it more in the palm of our hands. We had a 2-goal lead. And, even the commentators, Leeds will be going back down the M62 with all 3 points tonight. We should have been. And we absolutely blew it. And we're doing it to ourselves. And I just worry that we've only got a limited number of times left we can afford to do this before we really start to fuck ourselves up. We should be 5 or 6 points clear. At least.
If there's 2 people that have been playing regularly in that side that if you replaced, I think you'd be double figures better off points wise.
Yeah. Now we're not going to agree on all those players, but we're
2,
on the right
only 2. You only need 2. If you play an actual 10 and you play a goalkeeper that wears gloves and stops shots, then you're on to a winner. I think we would be at least 10 points better off if we'd done that this season. And that means basically no promotion, no championship is done in January. It's not. But
no,
that would be pretty much unassailable. We should be in that position. And now we're on 53 points. Burnley are on 52. Sheffield United are on 52. And Sunderland are on 50. That is a 4-horse race. Yeah,
it is.
And we saw all of that.
A bad couple of
all
weeks.
Of that over the course of the last couple of weeks. Our run has been pretty nice. It was kind to us over that period where we never do particularly well, but it was kind to us, and we biffed it. We fucked it.
We were on such good momentum. We'd broken the away hoodoo. We were just scoring goals. We were doing great, and then suddenly we just. It's like we can't keep it up. Like we get nervous or something. Oh shit. Oh God, this is not like us, expecting disaster or something. So everyone suddenly gets nervous and the fans get nervous and get on their backs again. Like the atmosphere in the home game previously, I thought was crap. So coming off a questionable
Blackburn?
result there against Blackburn, I thought it was a bit crap.
Really? I thought it would a little bit better.
Maybe it were where you were. I don't know. At our side, it were quite quiet for the majority of the game.
So where I were in the cheat.
Okay, well, I thought it was quite quiet. Maybe my ears are blocked then, Gilly. Who knows?
I mean, there is a point though. I sit when I'm in the cheese. I tend to be right at the front, so you get all the noise behind you.
Yeah.
Whereas you're in the middle of all that, aren't you? So, I mean, there's that to it as well. But there's also I'm comparing it to Cop, which is dead. So,
God, yeah.
Something better. I've been in Cop for the last 4 games or so, and it's eminently better than that in every regard. So it was a better personal experience, but having not been in the cheese, I can't say whether it was better or worse than what the cheese has been previously.
But I mean, I don't know if getting a crappy result at home had some kind of effect on them or what, because they could have bought into the hype. We don't get beat at home, we don't drop points at home. I don't know if that's affected them somehow, but looking at the majority of the game, we were on top of it, so we should have won it for all intents and purposes. For me, there's no reason, looking at how that game went, that we shouldn't have won it, other than those individual errors. For me,
I think that's fair to say. It is difficult, isn't it? Because I think if you look at league positions, you look at where Hull are, for instance, and the run that they've been on, albeit they've made some changes on their side, but the run that they've been on, when they get their noses in front, you think, shit, this could be one of those days. They're going to shut up shop. We're going to have all the ball. We're going to be camped on their 18-yard box. But all we're going to do is pass it wing to midfielder to centre back to midfielder to the other wing, and then all the way back again. And we're not going to do anything. You end up 3-1 up, and you think, fucking hell, great, because we're now 3-1 up, and we don't give away 2 goal cushions. That's fine now. We'll, the most likely thing, and if you remember our conversation in the group chat, the most likely thing is another Leeds goal, and we'll win 4-1.
Yeah,
that's what we all thought.
That's what we thought. We were, like Scooby's just said here, they had their chances, could have been 2 down. Did feel like it should have been done dusted at 3-1 though. They absolutely did, but we weathered those and we got through them. We gave them a shit first goal for me, which was piss poor defending.
Oh, it was. I thought Berber were poor all first half. Yeah, it was. Now, I think
he's not read it though. He's not read where that ball's going at all.
No, not at all. And it's it's one long punt in it from left back position. Now Stroik's slower than Ampadu, so he would probably have been slightly deeper and could have just swept it up. But Verber's not used to playing with Stroik because he's not been playing much. So it's not like a change in personnel at centre back has made any impact on the left back positioning. He's just got caught out. Now it's a quality finish. You can't take anything away from the finish. But it's one straight ball down our middle, one straight run down our middle, and a lobbed over a keeper that's in no man's land. Yeah, that's the man's not being closed down. The centre back's not covering the left back. The left back's got caught wrong side of his man, and the goalkeeper's in no man's land. It is a shit goal. There's no defending any aspect of it. The long ball should have been shut down. Striker shouldn't have a free run on goal, and keeper shouldn't be in a place where it's dead easy to beat him.
Absolutely. Matt's asking where Ampadu was for the first goal.
Well, yeah, he was the centre back that would have been on the cover.
Yeah, that's it. There were a lot of fuck ups in that sequence of play. Really, it was disappointing to see us let someone run through us again so easily. It's as if people run at the centre of our defence, and it's like the Red Sea; it just parts for them. It's terrible.
To be fair, the one person that tends to snuff out danger there is Rodon. He's not Superman though. He can't do it every time. But he tends to do that sweeping up bit, even though he's also tending to be picking up his own man. So I would say defensively, I think we are in a position where I think the defence have played pretty well on the whole. And yeah, all right, Bogle in and out, a bit of injury, Byram in, out. Verber's obviously not played much. Ampadu's not played much. A bit of a midfield, bit of centre-back. Rodon and Meslier are the only real constants in that back line, or in that defensive aspect. But by the same token, they are professional footballers playing for a side that's trying to get promoted. Do your fucking job.
Yeah, 100%. These things should not be happening. They just shouldn't. We keep getting told that we've got the best squad in the league. So these players need to act like it. They can't just go around believing that the job's done because we're the best squad in the league. And I worry that some of them do think that sometimes. When you see some of these things happening, it just looks complacent, some of it.
And, you know, their side, João Pedro had some stick. Kamara had some more stick. Just last week, he had to apologise on social media, apparently, for putting a smiley face on another side having won, and their fans not liking it. And you know, they're in the relegation zone. You know, they're well in the relegation battle. They are not a good team, and they are under pressure, and we were 2 goals ahead. So in spite of the start, which, you know, it was poor, they hit the post when they could easily have scored that chance, and that would have made it 2-0. They didn't. We got past it. We got ourselves into a good position. 3-1 up. We should be coasting, and we should be putting that game to bed. And then that happened.
Yeah. I mean, fucking hell. We'll get to that. I thought Solomon looked lively. I thought he looked decent.
He was my man at match.
A lot of crosses in. He had that shot when it was 1-0 to them. They were unlucky not to get something out of, and then Pirro tried to follow it up. And you know, he put the cross in, I think, didn't he? That ultimately fell for James after it got put back from the other side.
Yeah, it went all the way through, didn't it? And Bogle took it back to Dan James. So that's the one when he properly sent Coyle for an hot dog. I think he's still sliding.
But I mean, they hit the post before we got our first goal, I think it was, and yet again, we kind of looked all at sea at the back, and it looked like headless chickens at times. Like, where's the organisation gone in that back four? Like, people were just everywhere.
And the issue with that is that's our captain and our vice captain at centre back and in net. Just while you have a drink as well. So I'm sponsored by San Miguel. If somebody wants to get in touch and sponsor us, I will accept payment in beer.
We will.
In terms of leadership, rightly or wrongly, is irrelevant. Meslier is vice captain, and Ampadu is our skipper. And you know, Verber, as we keep being told, is an international footballer. Rodon is an international footballer. Bogle's played in the Premier League. How is it that none of them have any leadership capability when the back's against the wall? It's like it all falls apart.
I don't know. It makes no sense. They're all meant to be good players. They at least rate themselves because they all think they're too good for being in the Championship, don't they? So some of them do anyway. But yeah, it's hard to watch stuff like that, and it's just the defending. One of the things we've been decent at has been being organised at the back. Yeah. So when we start to look that disorganised multiple times in a game, you start to worry what's going on here, what's happened. And I mean, we had the long throw from Hull that they nearly scored from again.
Yeah,
that were more chaos. It's just.
So I don't know if you've. I don't know where I put my phone. Oh, here we go in my pocket. I don't know if you've. I'm just going to read some out, but I don't know if you've seen the stats from LUFC data.
Oh well, we're on the same page here, Gilly.
Are we? Have you put it in brand?
I have, yeah.
Oh, good man. Should have had some faith in you, shouldn't I? That's the one. Look.
Mate, you know, you underestimate me, but here I am.
Just evidence that we were both looking at it. I'm not making it up.
Half prepared for a pod for a change. Half prepared.
Yeah, if only you tweeted it out, you'd have been able to take all the credit.
Mate, it'd have been great. Wouldn't it? Can't have it all.
So yeah, just reading down it's horrendous. We're 17th. We're ranked 17th, or Meslier's ranked 17th in the championship for goals prevented. His ratio for goals prevented in the championship is minus 1.73. He's ranked 18th in the championship for save percentage. Now, if you move to the bottom of the list, I mean, 18th is where Hull are. If you move to the bottom of the list, we are ranked third best for goals conceded. Now, that sounds like that's a good start. We have faced the fewest shots, so we should be best rather than third best. But regardless of that, third best, okay, that's pretty good. And only James Trafford has got more clean sheets than Meslier. And yet, we are the worst for goals conceded from first shot on target faced, which is five times he's conceded the first shot on target.
It's too much for me, Gilly. It's all too much.
We've faced 56 shots on target. 56 shots on target in the entire league to this point. He's only saved 37 of them. It's his job to stop the ball going in the goal. Now, that's made absolutely worse, all the worse. And I know we're going to come on to it a little bit more now, but it's made all the worse by the fact that the goal that we conceded, the second goal, wasn't even a shot on target.
Yeah, no.
And he spooned it into the striker's feet 4 yards out.
On that
excluding penalties, Leeds have now conceded 50% of their goals from set pieces, excluding penalties.
This is outrageous.
It's just, there's a litany of serious issue there that is just, that there is no compensating for. Those two stats up at the top that I've not mentioned that you've got there as well. James Trafford's save percentage for Burnley is 85%. For every 100 shots on target, he saves 85 of them.
Fucking hell, man.
Michael Cooper's for Sheffield United, 79.2. Meslier's is 66.1. He's saving fewer than a third. No. Fewer than 2/3 of the shots on target being saved. But our competitors are at 85%. It's just, there's no shocking argument for retaining it. Now, if you had Stewie D, because I think he can play any position there is. If you had Lucas Radebe, I'd be wanting them in goal. However good they are out of goal, I'd be wanting them in goal right now. I can't, I can't bend my head around the fact that we've gone through all of the periods we have, and it's not even like it's a question in Farke's mind that he might drop him, he might replace him. Now, bearing in mind, so Alex Cairns is completely irrelevant to this conversation because nobody ever expected it. Only if one keeper dies and the other's got two broken legs is he even in with a shout of being in goal. He's there for quota purposes only. But Darlow is taking a wage at a championship, a top of championship level, and it is clear that we don't rate him. Because otherwise he would have been in ages ago.
So what were the point?
So if we don't rate him, why we're paying for him and suffering the fact that we've got an undroppable player that clearly isn't good enough. Now, whether that's confident, he has had at points a level of capability that you think, yeah, okay, he's good enough at this level. Whether he's good enough at Premier League level or not remains to be seen. I think he's 23, 24 now. So in a keeper's lifetime, within their careers, he's got another 6 or 7 years before he's actually going to be at his peak.
Yeah.
You can see somebody like PSG going, do you know what? Bring him in.
Yeah.
The flat track bullies in their league.
Bench for a few years.
Yeah, they're flat track bullies in their league. He could probably play the majority of their league games and they'll be fine because it's not hurting them because they're going to steamroller most sides.
Yeah.
But you're in a position where in English football, you cannot afford to have your goalkeeper doing that. Now, in terms of value, I don't know what you could get for him. He's got let's say he's got a ceiling. He can be better than he is today. Let's put it that way. Whatever that ceiling is, I don't know. But bearing in mind that he has been rated in the past, he has played well in the past, presumably in a different setting, different context, different league, maybe back in his home country, under a different coach. Confidence might come back and he might be a capable footballer again.
Yeah, maybe.
He's not one now. But that means that because he's got potential, somebody's buying potential. Yeah. So you're going to get a fee that's worth more than the player that we see today. And the player that we see today is the 18th best keeper in the Championship. So it's very, very, very easy to replace him with somebody better. We saw against Stoke a keeper that we all clamoured for that cost them less than £1 million in the summer. It's very, very easy to replace him.
Yeah.
So there's
other keepers out there. We've seen how well some of the ones have played against us recently. Yeah. They all seem to have game of their lives when they play us. Apart from that Luton guy. Well, I had to see this, so everyone else gets to see it.
Yeah, I mean,
this has caused me sleepless nights, this Gilly, because when this happened, if there hadn't been a goalkeeper, that goal would not have been scored. Hull would not have scored that goal.
Yes, we would have literally been better off at that point without him even there. Yes.
It's mind-blowing. He created that. Solely him. Yes. It's gone out of play there. It might even be out of play. But why are you not turning it over if you are going to put your hands up? Why are you bringing that back? Why?
I can't tell you. I could not tell you.
I can't get my head around it. We've completely derailed off the order of the game now, but this
I mean, we have. But you know what? Roland makes a really good point as well. Their lad that had the left foot shot from just outside the box, Meslier didn't even move. He just and it wasn't far wide.
He went down on one knee and looked over his shoulder.
Yeah, he just watched it go past him, and he's like, "Can you do something about that, please?"
The signs were there. It was crazy.
And you know, people, rightly or wrongly, people have been talking a lot about Rahubka. Now, we've mentioned him before. We don't need to degrade his name again even further with that. It was Blackpool, wasn't it? With that performance. But this performance by Meslier, if you consider the shot that hit the post, that he completely messed up. The third goal, he came and flapped and got nowhere near it, so Byram headed it clear to an unmarked man. Yeah. I don't think he can do anything about the actual shot. The shot's come through a crowd of players and it's gone straight. Yeah, missed it completely, yeah. So it's gone out to their man. Their man's unmarked. That's not Mellier's fault. And he's hit it hard, and it's gone in through a crowd of players. Fine, okay. Maybe he could do better, but he certainly could do better with the first phase of play. The second goal, he's entirely just scooped back into play and laid it at the feet of their striker. So I think you can't
go anywhere else either. It landed right at his feet.
Absolutely. And you know, that was an Aaronson level of could not miss, and he didn't. And you know, Mellier's positioning, if he stays on his line for the first goal, I don't think they score.
No.
So you know, he makes the striker's mind, or there's a winger into Kamara, but he makes his mind up for him because he's seen where he is. As soon as the ball comes to him, he's just hit it and it's gone in. He's like, yeah, that's a really good finish, fair play. We saw a Dan James effort later in the game where he hit the keeper in the face, and he didn't quite get there, but and he didn't finish it. But you know, you're in that position where Mellier's lost his head. Yeah. And that's caused them to go 1-up. Now, the rest of the team's got him out of the shit, and then he's put them straight back in it again twice.
Yeah.
It's just...
I know. And that leads me on to this, Gilly.
There's no saving grace here.
And you know what this is, don't you?
Oh, the reaction.
But the reaction. They've had enough. We've had enough.
I mean Rodon was furious, but even Pirot, the most laid-back footballer there has ever been, that no, I'm not going to say literally play stoned, but looks like he does at least. But the most laid back footballer there has ever been was furious at him, and that's how bad it was.
Yeah, I mean, when I wrote my notes earlier on, WTF was written more times in this series of notes than I've written for any game ever, and that goalkeeping performance as a whole was terrible. Like everything he did wrong. The first goal is in no man's land, probably partly down to the tactics. He's told to stay high, but maybe he could have judged that better, whether to come, whether not to come. But the bringing it back into play for that second goal, the going for the punch like that and completely missing that for the third goal, and it's just his positioning, his judgment, his catching, which happens rarely. It's just everything that he needs to be good at. He's crap at. His distribution's shit. Like, you watch teams like Sheffield United play, and they've got keeper pinging balls out in stoppage time to players accurately. Meslier could have all the time it will, and he'll boot it out, or he'll boot it to other team.
Or he'll pretend to roll it one way and then stand and look around while we're going, get rid of it! The game's nearly finished! And then he'll just roll it casually to one side. Yeah,
exactly. So, I mean, it's hard to look past it. It's like the whole game, the whole narrative of the game is centered around it because it was such a shit show, and that second one was such a clanger. And I worry that we don't have many of these opportunities to get away with fucking stuff up left in us, because we're going to end up looking at the playoffs if we keep doing things like this.
Absolutely. That's where it's going. Let's be honest. We're in a position now where we've seen before what a 4-horse race does. Because last season, what looked like it were going to be a 3-horse race at times became a 4-horse race, and that was 2 sides promoted and one won through the playoffs, and we weren't any of them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So it is, I am conscious. So let's have a look at Phil West's comment here. Is this a Leeds United pod? Comments: worst keeper in Europe. Farker is a coward. Have a word with yourselves. We need a new keeper, but for fuck's sake, give your heads a shake. I think it's fair to say those words because those things have been said. So, worst keeper in Europe, let's address that. I think he's now the 3rd worst rated goalkeeper in all of Europe in all professional football. Not in the top 5 leagues, not in, not filtered or limited in any way. I think he's the third worst for shots saved in any professional league in Europe.
Yeah.
Now, for a side going for promotion, that's criminal. It's just absolutely criminal. If you then talk about Farker as a coward, whether he's or not, I actually think that that's not true. And the reason that I think that that's not true is he sticks to his principles. And a coward wouldn't stick to his principles. They would bow to pressure.
Oh, he takes shit and he carries on doing what he thinks is...
Yeah, and it's what he thinks is right. And that's not really what a coward does. I think he's too stubborn and unwilling to be flexible and to change when change is needed. At 3-2, when the tide of the game has turned and Solomon's having a little bit of a drop-off because he's not played enough football, and Dan James hasn't played particularly well. Rothwell was nowhere. Aaronson was shit again. We had to make some changes. Yeah, and we didn't. So that for me is it's not that Farker's a coward. It's that he's as stubborn as a mule, and he needs to learn that the games need managing during the game. But it's a game of opinions, and I'm not taking Phil's away from it. He's perfectly entitled to say what he wants as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone gets to have their own say on here. That's how it is.
That's it.
I thought the Tanaka goal was very nice. I feel sorry for him that's been overshadowed so badly. That's what we should be talking about.
But I think we'll reflect on that in weeks to come, won't we? Because it'll be a case of no longer can we say the midfield hasn't scored a goal. What we need from Tanaka, what we need from Rothwell, what we need from Ampadu is we need 4 or 5 from each of them per season. So, I think we've got one from Rodon, which isn't really good enough. We've got 3 from Strike, 2 from Pens.
Yeah,
we need a bit more. The other one was that front post finish, wasn't it? The first goal from a corner scored in 8,000 years or whatever it was. So we're not getting enough goals spread around the team, but it's great that not only were it a great finish, it's great that it's come from a central position because we're not getting enough from there. But yeah, I mean, and when he ran over and Willie's all over him, and then Gilly comes and just absolutely squashes the pair of them. You could see how delighted the rest of the team were, not just because of the context of the game, I think, but Tanaka's a really popular member of the squad. You can see it
absolutely,
straight away. So, no, I'm really pleased for him. It's good to get that that duck put to bed in it. What's it? Oh, monkey off his back, kind of.
That's
Just be in that position where my first goal still ain't come, and now it's a case of every so often just have a shot, mate. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to go. You've got that one done. Yeah.
People trust you. Have a go. I hope we get a couple more of them from him. I think we probably will, to be honest. I thought
Rothwell's another one that's got to chip in, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, I thought Rothwell would score before Tanaka would.
Me too.
He's got lively in that department, but he's dropped off a little on the shooting from range last couple of games.
Yeah.
I was hoping he was going to bang in a thunder bastard that we could all get excited about.
Well, exactly. That's what Bradley Johnson type. Just every so often, pop up and just fucking smash one from nowhere. Yeah,
that's like a Scud missile.
It'd be nice.
But I mean, I thought Pirro got a nice goal as well. I liked his finish.
Often we don't punish opponents' mistakes, do we?
No, we don't.
It's nice he did that.
Yeah, and he gets a bit of stick. Bryn hates him. A lot of people dislike him compared to Joseph, but then you've got people that don't think Joseph's up to it. So what do you do? But Pirro always looks dangerous in those kind of positions. I feel like we should maybe tweak our system a little to get him in those positions a bit more and play to him more, rather than what we do now, where he seems to be coming running from deep every time we get a ball forward down the wings.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I just spoke about us not getting many goals from central areas. The danger is coming from the width, isn't it? Now, Pirro Aaronson aside, I'm actually talking about the midfield and defence when I'm talking about central areas. But the danger is being created out wide. So if that is the case, then if Farker's just saying to whoever it is that's playing up front, what you need to do is hold the ball up and drop it off so that we can get it out wide. Yeah. Then if that's what he's doing, that's what he's doing. But what I want to see is a striker playing on last man, turning him, playing on the shoulder, using the pace that Joseph's got. Pirro's not a fast footballer.
No, he's not.
He reads the game in a different way, but I think we've spoken before about it could almost do with being a second striker, not big man, little man, because he's got a little bit about him. But that sort of thing where somebody might do his running for him or be able to play off or whatever. He kind of almost looks a bit lost in games when he doesn't have somebody that's next to him to play off. But he does play that bit of a deeper role, whereas I'm not looking for Joseph to do that. And if Joseph's being asked to do that, I think that's not playing to his strengths, is it?
No, Joseph.
No, that's what I mean. Joseph, we're not playing to Joseph's strengths if we're asking him to drop off the front. His strengths are trying to stretch the defence, using his pace, getting in behind, playing on the shoulder, and Pirro has different strengths. Dropping off, I think, suits him. Yeah, but if you're going to play to the strengths of the player, I think asking Joseph to do similar to what Pirro does, just because that's the system that he's playing in, takes away most of what's good about him. He doesn't look like he's going to be that prolific striker. Now, the one thing I would say is this is his first season. He'd never started a league game before this season. So, you're just about to ask this question here from Steve. But, he doesn't look to be that sort of prolific striker. So if he's not that sort of prolific striker, then what is he there for? If he's playing something that's taken away from his strengths.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, as you're saying, Steve Brown here says, would Joseph finish that chance? I'm not sure. I like to think so from there, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't think he does it in that way, does he?
No.
He'll approach it in a different way. I think it unlikely, but we've seen many of our strikers not punish. Exactly as we just said. We've seen many of our players not punish opponents for mistakes like that. Pirot's a laid-back character and he's cool, and he doesn't rush it. Yeah, he's actually the complete opposite to Aaronson in that, isn't he? Because Aaronson looks so desperate to impress and so desperate to play well and to do everything that is needed that it's like he's rushing everything.
Yeah.
And Pirot's completely the opposite. When you want him to rush, he's too laid back still.
Yeah, absolutely. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe he's a calming influence on the dressing room. You never know.
Maybe so. But
chills everybody out.
But yeah, he doesn't get flustered. You can see that in his play. He doesn't get flustered, and I think that when there's a mistake that presents itself in the way that it did like that means that he'll take his time and he'll pick a spot.
Absolutely. Arthur Bushby with a good point. He said James should have made it safe chipping the goalkeeper. I mean, it were a tough one that, but he probably should have. He probably should have scored.
We've seen him score them. Hit him in the face. He were outside the box. You think anywhere other than there is either getting sent off or it's a goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the quality he's got, we've seen him score from the halfway line when keeper's off his line. We've seen him chip those goals. So with the quality he's got, I agree. He should be doing better.
Ian Ward says Joseph might be better suited for the Premiership. Do you reckon to that?
I think it's too early for him to do that. I think your pace and your movement and your mobility is less relevant in the Premier League, where the defenders have the same. Whereas the defenders in the Championship are a bit more static. I mean, look at Strike. Perfect Championship defender, really. Slow on the turn, a lot more static. Whereas you look at some of the defenders in the Premier League, and they're as quick as any of the wingers and strikers. So
you do tend to get that. Yeah, maybe so. I think if we do make it up, we'll. Scooby-Doo 2 for the audio listeners. Poor Brendan suffers from premature ejaculation. Pirot strolls about in a toga with a panther on a lead. I mean, I've got no idea, but okay.
I don't know, but that needs to go into an AI image generator.
I'm not sure I want to see it.
I just meant the second bit, really. Okay, I don't think we need the picture of the premature ejaculation.
Yeah, well, that's my worry. God, you've totally thrown me now. I don't even know what we're talking about, to be completely honest with you.
Absolutely. Joseph in the Premier League, maybe?
Yeah, we were saying about the levels of the players, I think. But yeah, we're going to say, for me, if we do go up, Joseph, for me, he's got to be a bench option for me. I don't think he'd be ready to play for us in the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If he were banging him in this season, he looked like the main man and he was taking it all in his stride, I might have a different feeling on that, but as it is, it looks to me like he's not quite ready. Even though we all,
I absolutely agree. I was about to make the same point. I think if he'd started this season like a man on fire, yeah, but not as it's gone, not yet.
That's a hell of a take from Clive there. 49ers have been no better than Ken Bates. I don't know why they get such an easy ride. Now you'll probably agree with him, won't you? Because you hate him.
I do agree with him. I don't think there's an argument against it. I do not think there's an argument against it. Now, no better than Ken Bates is a stretch. I will say that. But there have been few worse owners than the 49ers in the history of our club. You could count them on one hand.
I would say there's been a fair few in recent history.
Worse? Yeah, but you don't see the history with Red Bull.
Chelino.
No, I think Chelino were better. I think Brad's were better.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chelino?
Better than 49ers? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
He never. I mean, we're going to get into something here. the only reason for that is not what he did, because I recognise that the club was a mess. Let's not make no bones about it. The club was an absolute mess. The swimming pool was shut. Players had to bring in their own socks. All of that shit were going off. Andy was mad, and his family kept doing dead weird stuff, and we were chasing taxis round the ground and players' sacks. And then no, I'd say get rid of the couch. Yeah, all right.
Oh yeah,
absolute full of shit. And he was absolutely bad in many ways. But all it took was just one person to go, right, I'm buying a club, and all of those issues go away. Whereas what the 49ers have done, have brought the devil into the house that we will never get rid of. And I'd recognise that a lot of people think I'm being dramatic about that, but Red Bull are the club killer. They literally go in and try and ruin the entire history of a club. And I'm against that for Leeds. So, yeah, no, for that reason, not the scalping of the fans on the ticket prices, the scalping of the fans on the away season tickets, the pricing structures, the decimation of the squad, the absolute gambling on promotion this season, all of that aside, because that's just club ownership and people can agree with it or not. The one thing they have done is brought Red Bull into shareholder status. Not the fact that there's a bull on the shirt, the shareholders. That for me is pretty much as bad as anything anybody's done since Ridsdale nearly ended the club itself.
It remains to be seen for me. This is going to be one of those.
Well, it does. It's all a prediction thing. Well, it's all a prediction thing. I predict that we're going to end up being Red Bull Leeds, and I don't like that.
We've gone on a tangent, but historically speaking, they have done that everywhere they've gone. I agree with you on that.
Not historically. It's still happening now.
Well, no,
it happened again last month.
I mean, the record books show. Anyway,
it is their MO.
I don't think they'll be able to do that here. I just don't. I don't think it'll be able to happen.
Why?
Because I don't think that the way that clubs are running this country and the way that changing the names and identities and things like that are governed and ruled would allow them to do it.
So it's the governance that will stop that, and the rules.
Well, football authorities.
And when you think about DCMS, that's still in a mess, and the footballing regulator doesn't really exist today, and football is still self-regulating, and the Premier League were able to buy the National Football League off for pittance to just do away with replays in the FA Cup and change the nature of the oldest domestic cup in the world and the most prestigious domestic cup in the world. They just bought for pittance. So all you need is a lot of money, and we know that they've got a lot of money, and they are a marketing machine, and they've got a lot of money. They can do what they want, and they will do what they want.
They won't be able to get away with it. It's not allowed here. It's just not allowed. It's not. You can't just erase a club and change its name.
No, it's not allowed. And somebody else come up with Full City Tigers, and that's fine. That was just one man. That wasn't a marketing machine that's worth tens and hundreds of billions or billions on billions that can buy whatever they want. If they want it to happen, it'll happen. It's nailed on.
Not for me. I don't think it'll be able to happen. But anyway, we're going on a tangent here. So we'll go back to what we were supposed to be fucking talking about. I don't even know what else I'm going to say, really, because we've covered most of the game. It's just, at this point now, it's just, you said Solomon were your man of the match for you.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
I think
and we've covered Tanaka's goal, and we've covered Dan James's goal. That's only two.
Tanaka, Dan James, and who was the other one? Pirro. I mentioned Pirro's about the finish.
Oh, no, we did mention Pirro's, didn't we? Yeah. We're going to say that we've not mentioned
Don't make me think that I've not said something that I have. You had my brain backpedaling furiously then. I was like, hey, what? I just went totally blank then, trying to pair the goals and the goal scorers in my head. Just sabotaging me, man.
Yeah, no, that's down to me. Sorry about
that. On things that we are concerned with now, then, do you think we might get a keeper, or do you think we're just going to plod on?
I don't think we'll get a keeper, and I don't think we'll get a 10. I think we are absolutely 100% crying out for both.
Oh yeah.
I don't think, but that comes back to the 49ers. I've got no faith in them to do anything right. So that means that they would have to do something right, and I cannot see it. The signing
no
the keeper this week
from me.
the signing a keeper this week, but he's just going into youth team. He's not coming into first team. I would be ecstatic if we went and got somebody that it has some pedigree at Championship Premier League level as a 10. And somebody that can come in and like somebody like Kelleher. Now, I'm not saying we're getting Kelleher. I'm not saying I expect us to. The rumours have been there for some time, but I think that's purely on hope and dreams rather than it is any reality. Maybe if we were promoted, I don't think we'd get anything before promotion in that way. It's too good. I can't see it. If we do, I'd be really happy. And do you know what? 0.01% of what I've said about the 49ers, I would retract.
Well, if it were Kelleher, it'd be a loan, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But if it's a loan to buy, I'd be comfortable in playing in the Premier League for us. So if it's a loan to buy, that'd be fantastic.
If it's a loan to buy on the basis we go up, you could see that might work for the player because we're at Christmas, we're at January. There's a few months of the season left. He either gets some game time now after having missed half a season, essentially, or he sits on their bench or in their reserves or whatever they call it now. And if there's a loan to buy option, if we go up, then there's no real risk for him. So he might want to come do it. He might give it a go, because he knows then he gets to be a first team goalkeeper for a massive club in the Premier League next year if it comes off. So it's a win-win for everybody, that for me. And I would love to see us try and do that. But you and your misery, it's you're making me worried.
All right, you happy clapper, you.
God, I think we will act. I think we've got to, like, as you said.
I mean, let's be fair. We're a week into January and we've not signed anyone.
But we don't hear out or anything, do we, when they sign people? Someone will just appear.
No, but we're already a week in. We could have signed somebody a week ago.
Yeah, we could, but that's not how it works here, so stop with that. It's been bank holidays and New Year's Day and all that. Give them a break.
Oh, yeah. They don't work through them, do they?
No.
Famously footballers don't work on bank holidays.
Them Yanks, they're just, too many public holidays over there. But yeah, I mean, I think they will act. I think they will, because like you said it yourself, they've gambled everything on going up this season. So for me, that means you're going all in. You've got to.
No. I didn't say they gambled everything. I didn't say they gambled everything. I've said the opposite. But they've gambled by doing it on the cheap. Yeah,
but that's left headroom now, where if we're in a position like this and it's gone pretty fucking well, despite the odd hiccup, you don't sit on that. You don't rest on your laurels, do you? They want to make money.
They did in summer.
The Premier League.
Parker literally said he wanted a 10 and they still didn't sign one.
It's unforgivable if they don't.
They did that. They sold Rutter, not planning to, got 40-odd million additional that was unlooked for. They got the biggest sponsorship deal ever seen at this level. They got money coming in from them shithouses, marketing bullshit that I don't want to get back into again through the sponsorship and through the sales of shares. We still at what? 2/3 of the total of parachute payments for year 2. There's a shitload of money. The club is awash with money, and they didn't spend any. Still, it stinks. Where would we be now if we'd have played Rutter up to this point instead of Aaronson?
Oh, mate, it would be clear. We'd have had probably 7 more goals scored. I reckon.
Easy
chances created.
Easy.
However, we don't have him, do we? So, I agree with you on the amount of money spent. Like, I were fuming that we'd sold so much money's worth of talent and we spent a fraction of that. But there was the FFP stuff. It does leave us headroom. And it does also mean that if we do fuck it up, then we're not completely at the mercy of the parachute payments having gone down next year because we do have a bit of money in the bank.
Yeah, but we are more likely to be in that position by not spending.
I get that. I honestly, you know me, I would rather spend all the money, buy good players, and say fuck it, let's just go for it. But they've done what they've done. If that is because they want headroom, they want to be able to make adjustments by bringing people in. That's fine by me. I'm fine with that. If we get to the end of the window and they've bought nobody, listen, I'll be slagging them off right alongside you. Absolutely. Because that'll be unforgivable to me. You cannot blow it from this position. You cannot. If you do, you're an absolute dickhead of the highest order, and you need running out of town. So yeah, we need to spend. We need to get the players that we need, and we need to crack on because this is the best chance we're going to have. There's no runaway leader. It should be us that's the runaway leader. We are that team, but we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. So let's fucking patch those holes.
The reason I'm laughing is I did give it a go with the Pirro Black Panther thing, but I think the AI got its knickers in a twist.
Oh God, what have you done? Is that
so? Yeah, there you go. I gave it a go.
Is that Smarty one of his weekends away?
Quiff's not big enough, but
fucking hellfire, man. It wasn't as bad as I were worried it were going to be. To be fair, so
well, I wouldn't have popped it up if it had been that bad. It's not like I did it live and just gambled on it.
Fucking hell. Ian Ward agrees. Anyway, says 3 quality signings lift the mood and nail on promotion. That's what we're saying. That's what.
So okay, I'm saying to you, you've got as much money as it takes to sign 3 realistic at this level players. I'm not going to ask you who. I'm just going to ask you where. Which positions do you sign those players in?
3.
3 players. 3 positions.
Given the way things are going at the moment, I'd possibly go for a 10, a keeper, possibly a fullback.
I thought you might have gone a 9, a 10, and a keeper.
No, because if you play the system right, you can get goals out of Pirro.
As we see,
he's not the perfect. He's not the perfect striker. There's flaws to his game, as we've discussed many times. But if you sign in 3 key players, I don't think he's not doing enough to warrant spending money there rather than elsewhere.
Yeah. And what the fuck? The highest scoring player at this level in the last 3 seasons.
So the system suits him. He scores goals.
Yeah. Now, I would not be averse to seeing a lot more of Joseph and seeing Pirro from the bench because he was really playing well from the bench and it was working. And now it feels like, albeit he did score at the weekend, he somehow he doesn't look as much of a goal threat as when he comes on, which is odd because normally you consider that to be somebody that is like a bit more full on as a player. That'll run people ragged that have already had 70 minutes against somebody else, and they've then got to step up the athleticism and all. Typically, it wouldn't be a player that's more laid back.
Maybe it's a mentality thing. Maybe he just gets more like hyped up watching the game, and he wants to get involved, and he's raring to go when he comes on or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that would work for some players. Yeah. Whereas others will, you want to start, you're raring to go. Some players will start and they'll be like, yeah, glad I'm in team, ace, let's go play. But they won't have that fire, like if they've been kept on sidelines having to watch it for a bit and they're like, get me on that fucking field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what you want, though, isn't it? That's what you want players.
It is.
Coming
it is. You need that drive, that determination to go, well, fuck you then, I'm going to show you.
Yeah, too right. But we seem to pick Joseph when we want to press a bit more, don't we? And Pirro against sides where we're not going to press as much. So,
yeah.
We need to just get the fucking system tweaked to get the best out of these players. Whether Joseph's capable or not, we're still waiting to see. But Pirro can score goals. We just need to get this fucking system right and sort these couple of positions because we're so close.
It does feel like it. It does feel like it. I mean, for what it's worth, I'd go the same. I would go the same, albeit I would be going for the fullback over the 9. For the reasons that we just said, actually, we've got a good goal scorer and we've got a good second fiddle player that'll run around and do whatever's needed there. On the principle that Farke clearly doesn't rate Isaac Schmidt, whether he's shitting his slipper or
that's odd, isn't it?
Don't know what it is, but he's done something to him, or there is some reason that he's not getting in because there's been a few occasions now, and albeit he's had a hernia operation and needed to come back from that, what have you. But there seems to have been 3 or 4 different occasions that seem to have been set up for him to come into the side and do well.
Yeah. And it's odd because when you're playing Byram, who I'm not slating Byram, I think he's been solid. I think he's done a decent job every time he's played for us. He's one of those generally a 7 out of 10 kind of guy.
Yeah.
Not do
he's impressed me. I thought he was coming in to be a 5, rarely play. And you're right, he's come in and he's been solid, steady away. He's got involved in attacks, which I didn't actually expect from him. He's got up and down the pitch. He's provided width. He's played well.
And his legs have lasted longer than we thought.
Yeah.
Would. He's doing all right so far. Touch wood.
Yeah, no disservice to him. Go on, you were making a point.
Yeah, where I'm going with that is you're still playing a right-footed guy on the left. So if you've got a left-footed guy that can play on the left, then why are you not?
He's left-footed.
I think
because he's played a lot at right back and left back, hasn't he?
You've got me doubting.
I don't actually know what his preferred foot is because he's
maybe I'm talking bollocks. Let me have a look.
Even so, he is one of those that's more an attacker than a defender from a full back context.
Oh, he's far more mobile than Byram.
So our system fits in better, regardless of what foot he prefers. So it's really strange that he's not just been given an opportunity when an opportunity arises. He's overlooked each time. I find it really strange.
It's bizarre. Why didn't it tell me on Wikipedia what foot he uses?
SofaScore will. Hang on. I've got it open, funnily enough.
Have you? It says foot right on the transfer mark. So yeah, talk bollocks.
Right.
So disregard what I said, as usual.
Good knowledge from the big man.
Not that I'm saying
you're not a big man.
Let's just gloss over it and pretend it never happened. Go back to editing these podcasts so we don't have to speak anymore. Right. I think we've covered most of the stuff. I'm going to fire through the comments and wrap us up, I think.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're just going to end up talking about bloody transfers and potentially who we could bring in and what we need to do for the next half hour. And I think nobody needs that. So
there is that. I'm just going to pop this up just as you get yourself ready. There we go. We're walking a panther in a toga.
Hero and his panther.
Yeah.
Wow. Love it.
Bang a Leeds badge on him.
Brilliant. Love it. All right, so Paul Atkinson, he says, was fuming Saturday. Portsmouth, Preston, Hull, Blackburn, Sunderland. 10 points there, Meslier has cost us minimum. Do you agree with all them?
I mean, Portsmouth? Sunderland, yes. Hull, yes. I think Portsmouth's a little bit unfair, I think, because Arrington missed 3 glaring chances in that game, which has set him up for the season because he's continued doing that every game since. I think it's harsh to put all of that on Meslier in that there's 10 points there. Sunderland, yes. Hull, absolutely, yes. But all of them, it is a team game. Individuals can, and invariably when it's a goalkeeper, do. Drop clangers that get, we all remember Calamity James being called Calamity James.
Oh, yeah.
So, the mistakes that they make are even more scrutinised than anywhere else on the pitch. Because, even at centre-back, if you make a massive mistake at centre-back and somebody scores, it happens. But you make a mistake at centre-back and your goalkeeper's behind you. You make a mistake as a goalkeeper and it's caused a goal because otherwise nobody talks about it.
But the buck stops for you.
Exactly. You make a mistake as a striker. What they say is actually put it out of your mind. Just there'll be another chance along. If you make
Patrick Bamford, people come to your house.
Well, there is that. So as a striker, if you miss a chance, what everybody will tell you is focus on the next chance because there'll be one along any minute. If you make a mistake as a keeper, you're now going, oh shit, come on boys, you've got to get me out of this.
Yeah, you've got 10 other guys pissed off with
you. Yeah.
Get into that. Easy peasy says the squad has had enough, finally. I think he's referring to the players'
the reaction.
Meslier, understandable. I am interested to know if there's going to be a knock-on effect to that, or if they're just going to iron it out, or what. You like to think in the heat of the moment.
Somebody might get ironed out.
Well, yeah, somebody might get ironed out, yeah. Might be Farker if he gets in at the wrong time. Steve Brown says, James should have made it 4-2. Hit keeper on the head when he needed more height. I think we discussed that one. Should have scored that for me. Easy peasy again, he says, Gilly J, how many more times can we go through this? Farker is also as bad. His subs again were baffling. Bring on defenders after they equalised. Idiot, in capitals. Do you agree with that? A little bit harsh.
I agree with the sentiment. I don't think it's particularly harsh. I think
it's not, to be fair.
But even that, the decision that he made, even if you don't agree with the decision that he made it too late regardless. It had to be at 3-2.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just picking the next one here for us. Here we go. Bryn Johnson is very happy again. Says, we played shit, scored 3 goals despite Pirro, Rothwell, James being awful again. Verber had a poor first half. Why the hell Farker didn't shut up shop after Meslier's gaff is beyond me. I don't know. I'd have been probably more annoyed if we'd shut up shop and tried to go too defensive at 3-2, because then everybody would have been like, oh, we're inviting them onto us. We're just waiting for them to score.
We were going to score another one and finish 4-5-1. Why did you take off attackers? Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful
thing, situation.
Yeah.
We're always going to be upset. We're always going to want whatever the opposite is out with it gets done, because we're going to think, well, that's why it didn't work, because you didn't do this.
And if it had worked and it had ended up 4-1, nobody would have questioned it at all.
No, exactly. And that's the gamble, isn't it? That's why he gets paid the big bucks. Stephen Horseman says, when you have several players in the team shouting at Meslier, you know there's a problem. They put us in pole position and then he gives it away. Get rid of him. He will bring the team down mentally. MOT.
Yeah. Can't argue with any of that one.
Can't argue with that. No. Ian Ward says, Farker's subs at 3-3 were questionable. Again, kind of goes along what Bryn said. Definitely weird subs. Why did he bring defenders on?
You tell me, mate.
Normally goes the other way, doesn't
he? Yeah. No, very difficult. Very difficult to explain that one.
Phil Westy, POW. I hope he's not still a POW. He says, stop blaming Mez, blame the club for leaving him in that situation. And he's got a fair point there. Because there's no competition, and that's because we've not signed somebody good enough.
We have 2 senior goalkeepers after him on the books. So is that the club or is that the coach? I mean, it might be referring to them being one and the same. But we've signed Darlow to be the backup keeper. To me, a backup keeper is not just when somebody's injured; it's to deputise for them when they're not playing well. Otherwise, they're not backup.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Matt Leeds, he says, Joseph can't finish. He has 2 goals in almost 1,000 minutes, which is why I prefer Pirro. Fair point.
It is a fair point.
Start this one from Roland Buttonubs, because I don't know what, we should spend some time talking shit about the state of their pitch.
I mean, All's pitch was awful. It was awful. We just hadn't mentioned it, so we spent a bit of time.
Right. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Why? What did you think?
I didn't know. My brain just didn't process it. When you read sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. And then someone's like, oh, and you're like, fucking hell. And yeah, just one of them. I'm just, brain's not with it this week. Anyway, Bryn Johnson says, Darlow is fine. He's played international football behind Ronan Ampadu and played well. He has, but he's also played for Leeds and not played so well.
Yeah.
Do we gamble on him? Does he get put in against Harrogate as
is it a gamble
for a league game?
Is it a gamble? You're playing somebody that has had a pretty long career playing football in goal. It doesn't feel like much of a gamble to me. It feels like a fairly straightforward decision to make. If we were in a position now, let's take Bamford for example. So he played very, very well. In a short period last season, and as a club, our form was immaculate. It was the best form we'd had in 93 years, or whatever the stat was. You start him this season, and he doesn't score any goals, and he's not doing his job. He's not chasing men down. He's not passing the ball. He's not bringing people into play, and he's not scoring goals. And it's not looking like he's going to score goals.
Yeah.
And you don't take him out, and you don't take him out, and you keep not taking him out, and you keep not taking him out. That's the situation we're in at the back.
You would take
Meslier's not doing his job. Now, even if you don't think the striker that's on your bench is the striker is as good as the striker that you're picking at 9, if that striker's off form, you drop them.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need a change, don't you?
Yeah. Now, you bring Meslier out, who, let's be honest, since he came in, has largely been undroppable. Kiko was a joke by the time Meslier took the shirt off him.
God, yeah, it was.
And there was no chance that was going to happen. Robles is the only one that's really been anywhere near competition for him, because at one point, I think was it Big Sam that brought Robles in and dropped Meslier. So, and he was there, 4 games? So, realistically, Meslier's never had he's never been in a context or a challenge to say you're going to lose your shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no
look at players like Nonto. That when he's playing regularly and Dan James gets injured, Nonto goes off the boil. Dan James comes back from injury, Nonto's on fire because somebody's after his shirt. It's how football works.
It focuses your brain.
Yeah, these people are, whatever you think about them, they are finely tuned athletes.
Yeah.
And they've got to where they are now by being good at what they do.
Yeah.
So the fact that you can then go, well, do you know what? You don't have to be that good. You're going to get a shirt anyway. It is going to demotivate a player not having competition, because they're used to being pushed 100%. Constantly all their lives. And then all of a sudden...
100%. Yeah, I agree. I think we need to possibly put Darlow in, take the risk at this point. And I'm not a massive fan of Darlow. I wasn't impressed when I saw him play for us before. But
so Bryn makes a point here on that specific one. I know we're skipping ahead on some comments, but I didn't know about this until he mentioned it the other day.
No, I'd forgotten.
When Darlow came in, he had 2 broken fingers and still played.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Fair play, because there's a lot of players that go, no, my fingers are broken, I'm not playing. And then
my nails broke.
Youth player or whatever. So, there's a lot to be said for that as well. And the one thing I would say, actually, and I didn't see Meslier, but for the Blackburn game last season, when Smodic scored the 1 goal against us and their keeper had a fucking worldie again, I bought some tickets through a charity auction, if you remember, for the Leeds Trust. Stats had run it. So we were in the press box for that game. And before the game, we had a talk. We saw Farker and got introduced to a couple of players. We were in press box, and like Tony DeRigo and all of that were in there. And it was nice. It was good. But as we were being walked through, they didn't take us into changing rooms because the players were there, but they took us into where they do the aftermatch presses and all of the sponsors on the wall and all of that sort of stuff. Well, not the big press room. They've got some little cubicles.
I get you. With the TV camera one.
Yeah. When it's just in the face and it's just a player talking to camera. They took his and Darlow and Clarkson, it was at the time, walked past us. They're fucking giants. I'm 6'2". They are giants, I'm telling you. Now, I don't think it's that much of a gamble to take out somebody we know has fallen well short of the standard needed, because he's not going to do any worse. If he comes in and he fucks up, then you go, shit, we need to sign somebody. But do you know what? Transfer window's open. So let's try it now.
I'm with you. I wasn't before the whole game. I still was erring on the side of, he's driving me up the wall, keeps doing stupid stuff, but he's still the best we've got. I'm not sure anymore. I'm ready for something else. Even if it's an unspectacular, boring game with a clean sheet with a different guy and goal, I could live with that.
Just save some shots, please.
Please.
You don't need to do anything else. Just save some shots, and when you got the ball, just knock it long.
Exactly. Okay, let's do that. Anyway, I think we've waffled long enough. I didn't intend to go this long. I never do, to be fair. You got anything else you want to tell us, Gilly? Or are you?
Mate, I'm so over it. Yeah. I think we're just in a position now where I think all I'm doing is so. There was. Is it Falkingham that used to be at Leeds. It didn't upset me because I don't really know the player, but Harrogate Town's captain used to be on our books, and he were massively looking forward to playing against us, and his skipper, so he would have been starting the game, and he's got himself injured, and he's going to be out. But well, the YEP reported that it was going to be 12 months, but their manager were quoting saying 12 weeks, so I don't know which is right, but he's going to miss the game, and playing for Harrogate as the captain, having been at Leeds on the books, this would be the one game in his life he would have wanted to play in. So I really feel for that. So it's
hard.
A shame. It is hard. It is a shame. So I'm really quite looking forward to it. It's going to be an odd one because I think a lot of the away fans will be Leeds fans that just happen to also be Harrogate fans, because it would almost never the twain shall meet sort of situation. Not so long since, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting.
I'm not going to be there for that one, but it should be a good day. I can't imagine there'll be anyone kicking off because, like you say, most of their fans will be our fans too. So
yeah, it believes on Leeds that.
Exactly,
it has been known to happen. In fact, I think there's been a little bit of it in our comments tonight, but I've not really been able to get to grips with what's happening.
Yeah, I haven't been able to concentrate on that, to be honest. I've got enough on my plate just trying to run a podcast in a half competent manner. So, but yeah, I mean, I think we've managed that tonight. We've got more mileage out of a shite game than I thought we would, and
so just the last thing to mention is just the AMC stuff.
Okay.
So
I thought you were going to do it tomorrow, that's all.
Yeah, no, I do it on most of them now. So weekly they do the recovery runners group run. That's Wednesday evenings. Meet at 5:45 for a 6 p.m. start. Meet at 5 ways at the Recovery Academy on Westfield Road in Woodhouse. There's plenty of parking outside. One group does a 5K and another does a steady jog with walking in between. So there's no experience needed. They walk and talk was New Year's Eve. So we'll get hold of Lee Fryer that does the detail for us. But they also have 6 venues in Leeds. So calling for a brew and a chat. It's 7 till 9 every Monday barring bank holidays.
Okay, good stuff. And as always, if you want to talk to someone, pop yourself down there. If you just don't want to be on your own, you don't want to talk to anyone, pop yourself down there. You won't be forced to say anything or get involved if you don't want to. It's just nice to not be on your own sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I think we're back tomorrow, are we, Gilly? Are we both on, or is it?
I'm not. No, I think is it you, Luke and Smarty. I think
I never get a break. It's always me.
Do you know what? I love the bloke. I do. This is not a detriment to him at all, but it's nice to do a B&C with somebody that's not Carl, because it feels like it's been me and him for about 10 weeks.
Yeah, it's been me and Smarty every time when I've been on the last few, which is sound, but like you say, nice to have a change now and again.
A change is as good as a rest, as they say.
Exactly. And on that note, we'll give everyone in comments a rest, and we'll see you all next time.
Cheers, all.